Hey, it's Jordan. I am here in the Dallas West Church of Christ, right near downtown Dallas. I'm here with Minister Sammy Berry, and this is the very church that Botham Jean was both a worshiper in. He also taught Bible study here, and he was part of the community here for the few years after he moved to Texas. Botham Jean, if you're not familiar with the story, Ty and I have been down here for a few days. Botham Jean was a 26-year-old African American. He's from St. Lucia, originally, and moved here a few years ago. He went to college here, and he then got a job with PricewaterhouseCoopers, which is a financial auditing company. And he, on September 6th, so a little over a month ago, was just where you might be right now. He was just hanging out in his apartment in Dallas, and a white police officer by the name of Amber Geiger, the story has changed multiple times, but she came to Botham's apartment. Botham was on the 4th floor. This woman, Amber, lived right under him on the 3rd floor, intruded in on his apartment and shot him dead. Now, there's been multiple different accounts from Amber on what exactly happened. She claims after a long shift, because she was off duty at the time, she's a police officer, was off duty, claims she mistook his apartment for her apartment. I have reported on inconsistencies in her story, but the bottom line is she was let out on a $300,000 bond after 1 hour. She has been charged with manslaughter, but we have no information on why manslaughter and not murder. You would think, common sense, if you just go to some random person's apartment and shoot the person dead, that's murder. She has been fired from the Dallas PD, but she is not in prison or in jail waiting for trial, and very little information has been provided to Botham's family or your community. Before we get to what happened, I want to just, who was Botham Jean? He was here for a few years. You've been a minister here for almost 2 decades. Yes. Tell the audience, who was this man that we no longer have?
Okay. Botham was a Bible class teacher. He taught the young adults on Wednesday nights, talking about the life of Christ. And then he was also a worship leader and song leader on Sunday mornings. He would lead us in our singing pretty much every Sunday morning. He would lead, and then when he was not leading here or the main song leader here, many times he would visit other congregations in the community and lead singing there as well.
Mm-hmm. And was he, did he have a sense of humor? Was he a shy guy? Was he serious?
Both of them are very outgoing individual. He had a very captivating smile. He was a charismatic individual, and never met a stranger. Everybody who knew him loved him. He was loved here in this congregation. In fact, probably maybe 2 or 3 weeks before he was killed, he and I had a conversation about how loved he felt here at the congregation, how he felt at home here. But yeah, very outgoing individual. Everybody in the church loved him. Everybody in our brotherhood who heard him sing always commented to me about what an excellent song leader he was. He was an individual who loved Jesus Christ. He was a very organized individual. He had even also started to talk to me about changes and improvements that we could make in our worship process here on Sunday morning. In fact, the night that he was killed, he was actually working on that with another individual here. They were texting back and forth, working on that, and it was something that we were getting ready to implement in our worship service. But of course, we were never able to do that because we lost him on September the 6th.
Mm-hmm. And obviously this is the first time the police have done this with the help of the media, but they tried to kind of blame the victim, dehumanize the victim. So you get reports there was marijuana in his apartment, which really doesn't mean much, doesn't mean anything. But from everything you're saying, it was a guy. He was on a good career path. loved in the community, no problems, and essentially just a member of the community, and that's it.
That's right. Well, when that report came out that they found marijuana in his apartment, I mean, that was very devastating, one, for his family, for his church family, because me knowing Botham, knowing his character, the type of individual that he was, I know personally that he does not use drugs. My daughter knows him personally and told me that he doesn't use drugs. So I don't understand the purpose of that information being published. Although, well, I was hurt by the fact that it was published. I know the reason that they did it was to, drag his name through the mud, so to speak, because everything that we know about him, everything that was said about him, was all positive. And so I guess they tried to find some dirt on him, but those things were not truthful. I do not believe, you won't be able to convince me that those drugs that they found in his apartment belonged to him. In fact, none of those items belonged to him. Why would he have a police vest? Why would he have all that police paraphernalia? And he certainly was not a drug user.
Now, was there any time since you and him were close, did the name Amber Geiger ever come up? Did he know her? Are you aware of any relationship between the two?
No, as far as I know, and of course, me working with him was never, or talking to him was never about his personal relationships in that way. But in our conversations, her name never came up, and through my discussions with his family, as far as they know, he did not know her. And from what I understand through talking to the Texas Rangers when they came out to visit with us and to share information about the case, it's their understanding that he did not know her either. And these were questions that they questioned Miss Geiger, did she know him? And my understanding is that she said she did not.
And before I get into the specifics of what happened with Botham, we go all around the country. So I've been to St. Louis, where they have a lot of police problems. We've been to Detroit, Flint, Chicago. It seems like you have police departments that are generally investigating themselves. In this case, the Dallas PD, because she was with the Dallas PD, passed it off to the Texas Rangers, and the Texas Rangers decided to file manslaughter charges. However, unless I'm missing something, they haven't provided any information on how they determined that. Obviously, manslaughter would be a lesser charge than murder, so we don't have any information as far as her background. We don't have her police records. There was a shooting. She shot someone in 2017. She claims this person took her taser, but we don't have any information about that. And there's also been reports of some of her social media writings that had a tinge of kind of police superiority. There was some stuff I read about that she wrote about former President Obama. I mean, obviously you're a man of faith, but does it strike you and Botham's family? There's no other way to say it, the makings of a cover-up.
Well, it would certainly seem to be, and I understand, or have some understanding of police culture, that they like to protect their own. And so that is troubling, because of the facts have not been shared with us. We don't know why she said she issued commands. We don't know what those commands were. We don't know why she felt it was necessary to use deadly force. As far as I can see, I don't think it was a deadly force situation. So why, of all the options that she had through her police training, why would she automatically go to deadly force? See, here in America, the problem that we have is police officers, especially white police officers, are afraid of black males. They feel that anytime they're in the presence of a black male, that is deadly force. And that's a situation that we have to address in this country. That's a situation that has to be changed in the training of police officers, that just because you're in the presence of a black male does not mean that your life is in danger and you are in a deadly force situation. And so the other thing is, we have there's a police, here in Dallas, there's a police review board. Community review board members from the community are part of that board, and they can review cases, but they don't have subpoena power. In other words, it's a review board, but it doesn't have teeth. And so that's something that we're asking for as well, this police review board, to be able to look at these cases. The cases of police brutality. We can subpoena records, we can subpoena information and try to get to the bottom of these cases. And Botham's case is not the only case. There are many that over the years, I think since 2012, there's been a lot of light put forth on cases like this since then. But throughout history, here in the city of Dallas, we've had cases where young black men have been shot and killed by police officers, and nothing has ever happened.